You can work hard, stay disciplined, make every sacrifice, and still arrive somewhere that does not feel like home. Because effort can move you forward, but effort alone cannot tell you whether you are moving in the right direction. You can climb quickly, reach the top, and only then realize you climbed the wrong mountain. Welcome back to 5 Minutes Forward. 5-minute mindset shifts for a better life. I'm your host, Quincy Hampton. We are taught to admire movement, more progress, more achievement, more responsibility, more proof that we are becoming successful. But not every form of progress is alignment. Sometimes we are moving towards goals that were handed to us, a career someone else considered impressive, a version of success shaped by comparison, a life built around approval, a dream that belonged to an earlier version of us. And because the goal looks good from the outside, we rarely stop to ask whether it still fits. So we keep going, not because the path feels right, but because we've already invested so much in it: time, energy, money, identity itself. And sometimes the hardest truth to admit is that commitment and alignment are not the same thing. Last week, we talked about simplicity and the courage to remove what no longer deserves space. But clearing the noise is only the beginning, because once the distractions are gone, you have to listen to what remains. What do you actually value? What kind of life gives you energy, instead of only making you look accomplished? What are you building, and does it reflect who you are now? Simplicity clears the path. Alignment makes sure it is your path. Many of us begin life by following borrowed instructions. Be successful, be impressive, do what is practical, do not disappoint anyone. And those instructions are not always harmful. Sometimes they come from people who truly love us, people who want us to be safe, stable, respected. But even good advice can lead to the wrong life. If it is never examined, at some point you have to ask, am I choosing this, or am I simply continuing it? The question can be uncomfortable because alignment may require you to disappoint the expectations that once gave you direction. It may require you to admit that what once fit no longer does. Psychology distinguishes between goals that come from within and goals driven mainly by pressure, approval, status, and fear. When a goal reflects your own values, you are more likely to persist for reasons deeper than reward. The work may still be difficult, but the difficulty feels connected to something meaningful. When your actions repeatedly conflict with what you believe, tensions begin to build. You may look productive, but feel restless. You may be succeeding, but feel strangely disconnected from your own life. That discomfort is not always laziness. It is not always ingratitude. Sometimes it is information, and that's all it is. A signal that the life you are performing and the life you genuinely value are moving in different directions. Alignment reduces that split. It brings your choices closer to your values, your schedule closer to your priorities, and your own outward life closer to your inner truth. But alignment does not mean everything feels easy. The right path can still be exhausting. The right relationship can still require difficult conversations. The right career can still involve rejection. The right goal can still demand sacrifice. Alignment is not the absence of struggle. It is knowing why the struggle is worth carrying. There is a difference between the pain that develops you and the pain that slowly disconnects you from yourself. One asks you to grow, and the other asks you to disappear. Alignment is learning to recognize the difference. Here's one way to examine your direction. Take one major goal in your life and remove the audience. No praise, no social media, no title, no one impressed by the outcome. Then ask yourself, would I still want this? Would the work still matter? If nobody applauded, would you still pursue it? If it could not prove anything about you, the question does not mean external success is wrong. Recognition can be meaningful. Achievement can be rewarding, but applause should confirm your direction, not create it. Because when approval becomes the compass, you can spend years building a life that only makes sense while someone else is watching. Here's your 5-minute forward challenge for this week. Choose one goal you are currently pursuing, write it down, then answer 3 questions honestly. Would I still want this if nobody could applaud me for achieving it? Does this goal reflect who I am now, or who I once believed I needed to become? And what part of my daily life would need to change for my actions to match what I say matters? Do not rush to abandon everything. Alignment is not impulsive, it is honest. The goal is not to destroy your life overnight. The goal is to notice where your life and your values have stopped meeting. Then make one adjustment, one conversation, one boundary, one changed priority, one step towards a life that fits who you are today. A life can look impressive and still feel unfamiliar. You can become everything you were told to become and still miss the person you actually are. That is why alignment matters. It asks you to stop measuring your life only by distance traveled and begin measuring it by whether the direction is true. The goal is not simply to move forward, it is to move forward without leaving yourself behind. Alignment is when your values, your choices, and the life you are building begin to face the same direction. That is the life that fits, not a perfect life, and it's definitely not an easy life, but one that feels honest to who you are today, when you are the only person in the room who can applaud yourself. Next week in 5 Minutes Forward, we'll talk about courage. Not the courage to begin, but the courage to change direction when the path you choose no longer belongs to you. Keep moving forward.